Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. I'm Allure Cosplay, and today I show you my Magic the Gathering Voltron deck. Let's go! And here are the commanders that I chose. Emberclaw Familiar, he costs 2 to cast. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. And Ishai Dragon Speaker, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on him. And he costs 4 to cast. This is my attempt at a tournament deck, so I wanted to build up my board fast. I can take out Emberclaw in turn 2, I can take out Dragon Speaker in turn 3 to 4. Aim of the game is to pump up Dragon Speaker with as many 1/1s as possible because your opponent will obviously be playing spells, and to have Emberclaw there to help him deal that much damage to each opponent every time Dragon Speaker deals some damage. Since this is a Voltron deck, there aren't that many creatures in this deck. There's only, I think, 11 or 12. That means most of the deck is non-creature spells. I did not mess around with the lands. There's 40 in here. I took this Planeswalker for my Monk deck, and I actually really like it for this deck as well. With her, you can gain life, deal some damage, get some mana, get an emblem. Anytime you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 2 damage to any target. And now let's go over all of the creatures. As support to my commander, I love this little guy. He only costs 2 to cast, he has flying, spells your opponents cast that target 1 or more commanders you control cost 3 more to cast. That's a great defense for my commander. For 2, this Dwarf Advisor will make sure that whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, you draw a card. Sun Titan, he's a little bit more expensive to cast, but he has Vigilance, and also he's really cool to Voltron if I can't get to my commanders. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That means if any of my equipments were sent to the graveyard, I can get them back because most of them are pretty cheap to cast. I considered this guy as one of my partner commanders, however he didn't make the cut. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of auras and equipments you control to target permanent or player. Daxos is another creature that's really good to Voltron if you can't get to your commander. He's pretty cheap to cast. He also can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater, which is awesome. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost, and until the end of turn you may cast that card. If you make him unblockable, you can keep doing that over and over and over again. This is also great support for this deck. It makes auras and equipments cost 1 less to cast. Tiana will fetch equipments and auras from the graveyard. And Jory, whenever you cast your second spell, you draw a card. I might swap out this guy, but he did save my skin a couple of times. Windshaper has flash and flying. Whenever he enters the battlefield during their declare attack step, for each attacking creature, you may reselect which player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. I love this Jin Monk for this deck. He has prowess. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and also you may cast the top card of your library if it's a non-creature, non-land card, and you may cast it as though it had flash. So basically, any aura and any equipment, if it's on the top of my library, I can just cast it as though it had flash. That's amazing. Narset is also very fun to Voltron. Once or twice I have done it when I couldn't get to my commander. She has first strike and she is hexproof herself naturally. I just love that. Whenever she attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may cast non-creature cards exiled with Narset this turn without paying their mana cost. That means I can play my equipment and my auras for free on the battlefield. Similar to my commander, Sunscorch will gain +1/+1 for each spell that an opponent has played. Bruna was another candidate to be my commander. She has flying and vigilance, and she's a 5/5. Also, whenever she attacks or blocks, you may attach to it any number of auras on the battlefield, or from the graveyard, or from your hand. That's amazing. She is awesome to Voltron. Onyx has decided to bless us with his presence. Now let's do some enchantments. On Sarah's Wings, enchanted creature is legendary, gets +1/+1, and has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. There are a lot of non-creature spells in this deck, so the next few enchantments greatly benefit from that. Whirlwind of Thought, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you draw a card. And Jeskai, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. Untap those creatures. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Timely Ward, it has flash if it's targeting my commander. Enchanted creature has indestructible. Asha's Favor, enchanted creature has flying, first strike, and vigilance. Alexi's Cloak, it has flash, enchanted creature can be a target of spells or abilities. Staggering Insight, for only 2, enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has lifelink, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. For only 1, enchanted creature can't be blocked, and whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. Curiosity also costs 1 to cast. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Of course, Spirit Mantle, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has protection from creatures. Ether Tunnel costs 2 to cast. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and can be blocked. Grasp costs 2 to cast as well. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap target creature defending player controls. Ghostly Prison is one of my favorite enchantments. I also need Propaganda in this deck. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature. Samuel costs 4 to cast. It has flash, enchanted artifact, creature or planeswalker. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted permanent. If it's an equipment, unattach it. Enchanted permanent loses all abilities and doesn't untap under its controller's untap steps. This is one of my favorite ones, Sticky Fingers. For only 1 red mana, it gives your creature menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Whenever enchanted creature dies, draw a card. And now let's do the instant spells. Unbreakable Formation, creatures you control gain indestructible until the end of turn. Blessed Breath, target creature you control gain protection from the color of your choice until the end of turn. Target creature gains double strike until the end of turn. Untap or tap target permanent. That could be targeting my commander or somebody else's creature. Counter target spell. Deflecting Palm. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, Deflecting Palm deals that much damage to that source's controller. Return to Dust. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast the spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Anticipate. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, put the rest into the bottom of your library in any order. Take up the Shield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, it gains lifelink and indestructible until the end of turn. And Hinder, target counter spell. There are only 3 sorceries in my deck. These 2 make my commander unblockable. This one for some reason is way more expensive than the first one. And this one gives me an extra turn. I do own a few more extra turn cards, so I was contemplating of maybe putting those in here. And now let's go over the artifacts. There's a lot of them. Starting with a few obligatory mana rocks, as well as a few search for lands. Farside Mask, whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, if it's untapped, you may draw a card. Whispersill Cloak for 3, equipped creature is unblockable and can be a target of spells or abilities. Prowler's Hem for 2, equipped creature can be blocked except by walls. Haunted Cloak, equipped creature has vigilance, trample, and haste. Fire Shrieker for 3, equipped creature has double strike. Gatma Kicks, Swift Boots for 2, equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Sword of Vengeance for 3, equipped creature has +2/+0, has first strike, vigilance, trample, and haste. Basilisk Collar, equipped creature has death touch and lifelink. Lightning Greaves for 2, equipped creature has haste and can be a target of spells or abilities. Mask of Memory for 2, whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, discard a card from your hand. Darksteel Plate for 3, the artifact itself is indestructible and equipped creature is indestructible. Mask of Riddles for 2, equipped creature has fear. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Warhammer for 3, equipped creature gets +3/+0, it gets trample as well as lifelink. One of my favorite artifacts, Black Blade Reforged, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Lizard Blades, give your creature a double strike. Well, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more random nerdy content from me. Don't forget to click the notification button so you know when I upload next. Leave me your recommendations for any other cards I should put in this deck in the comments below. Bye!